This is Gene Monteristilling, and welcome to the Tapping Q&A podcast, recorded live to tape from Williamsburg in Brooklyn. This is episode 391, originally aired May 14th, 2014, re-edited and re-aired September 30th, 2019. Hi everyone, I hope this finds you well wherever you are and whatever time of day you're getting a chance to listen to this. Thanks for spending some time with me today. Today we're going to spend some time talking about and tapping on being in a position where we can take action for those actions that we have failed at in the past. Before we jump into that, just a reminder, we have a free 10-part guide to help you to eliminate self-sabotage. All you need to do is go to tappingqa.com. You'll see the big blue button, or if you happen to be listening to this audio in the website, up in the right-hand column at the top there, you'll see a button there. If you click on that button and share your email address with me, every single day for the next couple of weeks, I will send you one of those parts that will help you to start taking the action that you want. There's audios, there's videos, there's tap along, there's instruction. All of it is absolutely free, and we've broken it down into small, discrete chunks so you're not overwhelmed and you can start using it right away. So going along that theme, one of the reasons why we don't take action, or at least one of the reasons why I don't take action, is I find myself in a circumstance where I'm having to do something that I've failed at in the past. And what is really interesting about taking data from our past is it is useful. It is good for us to be learning from our experience. It is good for us to recognize the things that didn't work out in the past so that we can do them differently now. The problem is our brain has a bias towards remembering the things that didn't work out in the past. And the reason why the brain is structured this way is it's, again, trying to keep us safe by remembering what is going on. But the problem is it ends up with a disproportionate amount of data saying that we've failed in the past. And I'll give you an example. So where I live in New York City, and today I'm actually recording this from my home office, I am in a 6th floor walk-up. For those of you that don't live in a city, all that means is that's a fancy way of saying I live on the 6th floor and there is no elevator. So every single time I walk out the front door of my apartment, that means to get back to my apartment, I'm going to walk up 78 stairs every single time. And since I don't have a car, I spend a lot of time in the subway, which means I'm going up and down stairs. At my co-working space, I'm going up and down stairs. So I'm constantly going up and down stairs this over 6 years that I've been living in New York City. And all of those times that have been successful, I have little to no recollection of doing that. So when I came home last night, I'm recording this in the morning, so I haven't been out of my apartment today. But when I came home last night, I walked up the stairs. I have zero recollection of that. And as I think of yesterday, getting home from the airport, even having my bags, I have no memory of walking up and down the stairs. But I can tell you in great detail the 3 times that I have tripped walking upstairs since moving to New York City. One of them, I ended up spilling a cup of coffee in a coffee shop. One of them, I ended up dropping a gallon of milk and spilling milk everywhere. And one of them, I ended up injuring myself. So of the literally thousands and thousands of times and the millions and millions of stairs that I have walked up of since living in New York City, I can tell you the 3 times it didn't work out. And again, it is good and useful for us to remember and to learn from the times when things don't work out. But if I only remember walking up those stairs, though, 3 times, then I'm going to think stairs are way more treacherous than they actually are. So my mind is biased to remember the failure, so I learn from it, but sometimes I've learned the wrong lessons. So the tapping that I have for you this morning is actually a tapping that I recorded one morning a number of years ago where I was getting ready to take an action that I had failed at before. And so this is real-time tapping, so you can see what it is like to tap along for that. So you can learn from it. And if there's something you need to do today that you are worried about, just go ahead and tap along. The recent issue is there's some action that I want to take, which is an action I've taken before in the past and hasn't been successful every single time. And so there is a part of me that is hesitant to take that action. And so I'm just going to tap on it right now into the microphone the exact same way I would be doing it if I was doing my morning tapping and just tapping on my own. And I'm just going to walk you through it as maybe a way that you can see one more way you can use tapping in your daily life. If there's an action that you want to take right now that you're struggling to take action on, why don't you tap along with me? You'll find it useful. Tap on the side of the hand, take a nice big deep breath. And as I tap on my collarbone, I'm just tuning into the action. And the instant I do that, there is a tightness just above my solar plexus and in my chest. And as I tap on the tippy top of the head, I'm just going to ask that tightness what it's worried about. And what I hear is it's afraid that I'm going to let other people down because this is something I'm asking other people to do. Since I've failed in the past, I'm going to fail again. So I'm just going to move from tapping point to tapping point. There's a part of me that is afraid to take this action, that is afraid to reach out to others because I'm asking them to do something which I think will work. But there have been some times in the past where it didn't work out as planned. And it didn't work out as promised. And so there's a part of me that's afraid to try again. That I'm going to try again, and it's going to fail again. But I recognize the fact, because of my past experience, I understand more. I know how to act differently. I learned a lot from that past experience. And so this time as I step into it, I'm going to do it more effectively. I'm going to do it more efficiently. I'm less likely to make mistakes. I'm more likely to make good choices. And so now I'm going to take another deep breath and tune back into it. And the tightness is still there, but it's about half as much as it was before. And the part that's remaining is worried if I'm actually capable of doing this at all. There's a part of me that doesn't believe that I can do this at all. That doesn't believe that it's possible. I give myself permission to recognize the fact that I am capable of doing this. It's something I have done before, and it's something I can do again successfully. And I give myself permission to trust myself, to trust my ability, and to trust myself to respond to things that don't go perfectly. Because there's a part of me that knows I can handle things that don't go perfectly. Another big deep breath. And as I tune into taking action, there's still a little bit left. Maybe it's 25% of what we started with. So it went from 100% to 50% and halved itself again down to 25%. And the part that's left is worried that because I'm not perfect at this, it's going to be a lot of work. Anytime I'm faced with something that I'm not perfect at, I recognize it's going to take work. I recognize it's going to take effort. And I want things to be easy. And I want things to be smooth. But if I only did the things that I am perfect at, I wouldn't have moved forward. I wouldn't have grown. There's lots of things that I've done where I've grown in the process. I wasn't perfect, and it turned out better than I even planned.
And so I give myself permission to recognize the fact that as I move forward, there are times where it's going to be more work than I would like. But that's okay, because good things come from that work. Nice deep breath. And so now there's this really interesting thing. I am now distracted from trying to focus on what's going on. If I really concentrate, I can still feel about 10% left. But the thing that I really want to do right now is I want to take action. What it requires me to do, I need to reach out, like I said, and it requires me to send some emails. And I just want to dive in and do that. And so that's a sign that this type of tapping is really effective. It's not that I just feel better. I do, but I'm not just moving to a place of comfort. I'm moving to a place of action.
So you can see how simple and straightforward tapping like that is. We're just giving ourselves the opportunity to recognize there are lessons to be learned, and we're also capable of doing things that have not gone well. If you know someone in your life who could use a little tapping like this, be our ambassador, pass it along. As you know, remember our goal this year is to get 9 new people tapping a day as a community. If we get 9 new people tapping a day, then this calendar year, we're going to add 3,000 new tappers. So if you know someone in your life who could use this, just pass it along. Don't spam your inbox, but share it with a friend. If you haven't done so already, you should subscribe to the podcast, meaning that you will get every single episode delivered right to your smart device when they go out. And remember, in podcast terms, when we say subscribe, we don't mean pay. Lots of subscription services like Netflix require money. This does not, to subscribe to a podcast, even though there are audios that require it. So if you go into Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Deezer, Stitcher, Luminary, Himalaya, anywhere you find audio, you're going to find this podcast. If you have a question or a comment, I always love hearing from people just like you. Some of the best episodes we've done this calendar year have come from recommendations from listeners just like you. So please reach out, Gene, Gene, at tappingqa.com. If you're at tappingqa.com, just click on that contact link and you can let me know what is on your mind. I really do appreciate the feedback and it makes the show better. For the Tapping Q&A podcast, this is Gene Montrestelli. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you real soon. Bye-bye. The Tapping Q&A podcast is copyright Gene Montrestelli, Tapping Q&A 2016. All views expressed by guests are those of the guests and not necessarily of Gene Montrestelli or Tapping Q&A.